If you want to talk about mindset shifts, the mindset shift we need is not from lazy to hardworking. It's from individualistic to collective thinking.
We about to respectfully disagree with a lot of the points that I made.
But a disagreement is not the same as a drag.
Oh, 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
That's the issue and the illusion with meritocracy. People say, just equip yourself. You can equip yourself till the cows come home. If you don't have opportunity, you're done for.
People think that platform validates their opinions, but it's not. It's being well versed. But now, because there's such a watered down version of community, there's no real sense of like love.
But can you
There's
have
no
true
real
community in capitalist societies?
Man.
Hello and welcome to the To My Sisters podcast. I'm Courtney.
And I'm Renee, and we are your online sisters and hosts of the To My Sisters podcast.
We are all about promoting the wellness, growth and development of a community of sisters across the world.
And in today's episode, we
ma'am.
are going to be talking about working hard or hardly working.
Okay.
I've been waiting to use that one, I'm telling ya. What is the real bomb diggity behind this whole working hard notion? Is meritocracy real? And is moving up in the social classes a real possibility? As well as, is it to be aspired to?
Yes, let's get into it.
Let's get into it. But before we get into the meat and bones of the topic, we always have the starter, which is the ding, ding, ding.
Dilemma, baby.
Let's get into it. Hey, sisters.
Hey.
Thank you so much for the amazing work you're doing. I've been listening to you for a year now and I've grown so much.
Aww.
My dilemma is that I'm 32 and I've been dating my boyfriend for 9 months now. I want to get married, and when we first started dating, I was intentional about figuring out if he was the right guy. So I think I asked the right questions, including asking about money and his view of money. Here's the issue. I've always made more than him. He works hard and has a good stable job, but I just make significantly more in my role. At first, he said he was fine with it, but recently he's been making slight comments at me, and in a recent argument, he even said he felt like I was emasculating him as I suggested we go on holiday to celebrate my birthday, but it was out of his budget and I offered to pay for us both. I want to get married soon, but if this is going to be a problem, I need to know if I should stay with him and work this out, but I don't know how, or if I should move on to the next. Help a sister out, please.
You are in need of help.
You
are in need of help.
And your man too.
Oh, indeed. Okay, this is interesting because you're older, so I get the idea of I might want to stick with this one because, you know, I want to get married soon, like you said. So I think, first of all, like you said, you had that honest conversation and the necessary question about finances when you started dating. Bring that conversation up again, because clearly something has changed. And I think it's easy when you start dating someone, or maybe especially if he has never been in this situation before. I think he thought this is not how he would react. He probably thought when he said I'm fine with it that he was actually fine with it. But I think in actuality, having walked it out in the last 9 months, he's realizing he's not as fine with it as he thought he was, right? And that's fine. People can change their mind. You know, some things are not the same in theory as they are in practice. So that's completely fine. But now it's, where do we currently stand? Now that you have experienced it for the last 9 months of us being together, how does this actually make you feel? Because if you're going to get pissed off every time I say, I want to do something that is in my budget, and I'm inviting you to do it with me, but you're upset because it's not in your budget and you can't pay for both of us, we got to talk. Because it either means that I now need to compromise and bring down my standard of living and my lifestyle so that I can match you, or you need to become comfortable with the fact that I can take care of us both in certain areas, right? And I know that there probably are some men who are uncomfortable with that. There are some women who are comfortable with the notion of being taken care of or having somebody provide for them, especially. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I can't relate. I just want to give them a voice. You know,
being taken care of, problems.
I can't relate, but you know, speak for the voiceless.
Representative.
Exactly, it's representation. Exactly, do you get of diversity? And so I do think it's worth having that conversation again. It's worth saying, you know, babe, first of all, that comment hurt me because that's not what I am intending to do, right? I'm not intending to emasculate you. I am not intending to make you feel less than. I love you. I accept you. Well, maybe not I accept you,
Not
but
accept.
I accept you. No, because I
accept.
don't think you're less of a man because you make less than me. Like, I don't. I'm happy with this dynamic, but are you?
Yeah.
Are you okay with this dynamic? And, you know, if it is, if it's creeping up at 9 months, imagine if you get married, what's it going to feel like at 9 years? Now, this is not to say that this man will always make less than you, but you don't know, right? You just don't know. And if it is a conversation of, okay, he's gotten to this point of, this is obviously based on assumption, he gets to this place of, actually, I don't think I can deal with the fact that you make more than me. Sir, if you want to be with me, either step your body up or become fine with it.
You ain't never lied.
But I'm not going to step down. Like, I think it'll be horrible for him or for you to think you now need to step out of your role just because he's making less than you, or so that you can make him feel comfortable. That's not how this is going to work until he puts a ring on that finger and you decide how life is going to look like together for the rest of your life. You don't step out of that good paycheck you got. Okay, sister? Okay? And just bringing that up, actually, I hope you've given your March challenge, because if you're making that much bread, I hope you've given to the charity.
That's a good point.
Just a reminder.
Just
Since you asking
one.
us for free advice.
You know, right?
But yeah, we're always happy to give out any free advice. But yeah, I think it's important to just have that conversation about, clearly, this is not okay. And if we're going to journey with each other some more, we both need to be on the same page. How do we feel about this finance issue? You know, because if I continue to make more than you, if you keep bringing up these silly arguments, not silly, but they're valid to him, I don't want to invalidate his feelings, but if you keep bringing up these issues, we can't. I can't. Actually no, I don't think there is a way to be in a relationship with someone who is genuinely provoked by how much you make.
Not provoked.
No, provoked. You are provoked. I don't want to say it's insecure, because he might not be insecure. I think society has framed the financial responsibility of a relationship around men. Do you get what I mean? And some of us hold those traditional views. I think we do. However, I do think in a world that is progressive, in a world that is modern, in a world where women are in the workforce and actually performing very highly, oftentimes, especially if we look at the structure of the education system and performance within the education system, women actually excel, right? They excel quite well. And so it's not a surprise when they do end up, especially in certain fields, surpassing men in certain arenas. And also there are certain roles and certain fields which do earn way more in terms of salary, whilst there may be other roles that have, you know, other perks such as power, responsibility, influence, things like that. However, they may not pay as much. For example, if he's an entrepreneur and she's like a, I don't know, software engineer, she's probably making bank. Do you get what I mean? But he's probably setting himself up for the long term. So it really is a conversation about future trajectory, honest and true feelings as well, because it might not be like this forever, but also if it is like this forever, is this going to disrupt us? Because if it is, we got to part.
For sure. And
like you said, you're 32, you're looking to get married. You got to figure this out ASAP. I think that's actually the beauty of being older sometimes. You just need to have clear-cut, honest conversation. Cut the faff. Cut the flowery stuff. Let's get right down to the depths of this issue. How does me making more money than you make you feel? That's what I think.
Brilliant. I think you hit the nail on the head, Miss Courtney.
That's what I try to do.
As per usual. Coming swinging. Flipping Rocky Balboa in the
Oh, I love Rocky, man. I need to watch another Rocky
honestly. But no, I definitely agree. I think maybe the only thing that I would add is, in terms of communication, really ask what it is. Because it might not necessarily be the fact that, you know, you earn more than him, but in terms of the slight comments, maybe it is potentially your delivery too. So consider, well, rather ask and see, you know, in terms of your feedback of he's making slight comments, but sometimes we also have our blinders and blinkers on, and the fact that you are making more money, you might not even know there are certain things that you're doing that might also be not necessarily provoking him, but making him feel like a little bit emasculated.
Yeah, or like this is an issue for you.
Precisely. So definitely communicate. That's the first thing that you need to do. Forget the whole, should I stay or should I go? go and talk to the man first.
Go and talk to that man.
If this is the man that you're saying, I'm thinking about pursuing marriage, at least with you in the next few years or so, you need to go and talk to him first.
Facts.
So ascertain, how is he feeling about it, and how is he feeling about not necessarily the fact that you earn more money than him, but how it's playing out in real life situations within your relationship. Because as you said, I think you highlighted so perfectly, many of us go in with the idea of, oh, we're going to be fine, you know, with this theory or notion of, you know, this particular thing that we do, right? It might scenario. Be precisely. We have all these beautiful scenarios that we make up in our head that we figure out our action plan of how we're going to deal with them whilst they're still a scenario or a theory. Yeah. But in practice, it's difficult, right? These things are challenges. These things are something that you want to work together in order to ascertain how is this going to play out in real life over multiple scenarios. When it comes to finances, I think finances is another. We released an episode earlier around, you know, romantic boundaries and relationships, and I'd said that one of the foundational principles was thinking about sex and physical activity. Finances is another foundational principle or values. What's your attitude towards finance, as well as how does this actually play out? What's your relationship with finances? What are you bringing to the relationship as a result of that relationship with finances? So I think really dig deep and double down on this one, because finances is one of the number one reasons that families break up.
It is the number one reason that families break up. It's not even infidelity, it's money.
It's money.
It is money.
And it doesn't always have to be
misunderstanding.
Precisely. It doesn't even have to be the lack of money. Well, in this case, it might be the slight lack of money on the part of somebody. Precisely. And then also thinking about, you know, ways that you can help him feel more, you know, quote unquote masculine, or ways that you can validate him that are not centered around finances as well. Because I do think that sometimes we can, as women, we can kind of like downplay men's need to feel masculine, or men's need to feel validated too. Precisely. And I think that he may be putting in potential emotional bids, which is an opportunity for you to step up as his partner and reaffirm him that, look, I love you irrespective of how much you're making. Let's figure out ways, you know, that you can help him feel that way. And I'm sure whilst you came in with the intention of like, oh, you know, it's my birthday, I don't mind paying for us both, that might have been misread or misinterpreted as extremely emasculating for him. And it doesn't necessarily speak to the fact that he's insecure, although, you know, again, I don't know this man. It might be an insecurity. You'd be the best judge of that. However, I do think it's about, as Courtney said, having honest conversations, sit down with the man. How are you feeling? What are you thinking? What's the reality of the situation? Because we don't have time to waste. Life is short.
It really is.
Life is short and it's to be enjoyed. And we don't want you missing out on the enjoyment of life because you are with somebody who is holding back your capacity to enjoy these experiences that you can actually afford.
So true. It's so true. And I think that is the biggest challenge, like having to bring down your lifestyle so that someone else can feel comfortable. And it's like, do you want to make that trade? I don't think you should personally, but
because you can't stop having nice things.
But some people do stop themselves from having nice things though.
That's nice for them, isn't it?
No, not at all. Like they'll stop themselves from having fun. They'll stop themselves from doing something just to accommodate somebody else and their desires or their insecurities, or, you know, the things that they say. And I think there's a way to do that with wisdom, you know, like what you're saying. If you're saying you feel emasculated, it's not the money that needs to go. Maybe I need to find a way, like you said, to make you feel masculine, to make you feel whatever you're saying that you desire to feel. But like I said, girl, don't get rid of that job. Do not get rid of that job. I'm so sorry.
No. Especially if you're happy with your current role. And it's really fulfilling, helping you feel like you're fulfilling purpose in your life. That he met you with the role, Sha.
Exactly. And even if you're not fulfilled and it's not purposeful, if you're getting the good paying check, you better save that. I'm telling you.
Get that money, baby.
No, and the thing is, I go with the mindset, okay, maybe this is past, you know, dysfunction talking, but I go with the mindset that you might not always be in my life. We've been dating for 9 months. Until you put a ring on it, I'm not going to drastically adjust my life.
You are absolutely.
Until we have decided that we are really doing life together. What? It's like the girl that was playing house with her entrepreneur boyfriend, I think we as women, because we desire marriage so much, sometimes we want to just jump into, I'll do anything, or, you know, I'll sacrifice anything, or I'll just be that wife right now before the assurance. Davido said it well. Give you assurance.
Yep.
Don't make a trade without assurance.
Yeah. Wow.
I learned that from Alibaba.
I was about to, who is them from Ali? Yep.
Alibaba. They have trade assurance. Don't make a trade unless it's verifiable.
Airtight.
And both of us have stakes in this, you know.
Goodness.
That's what I'd say. But sis, we are wishing you the absolute best, because it is not easy. Relationships are not easy to navigate. You know, we're just giving you advice. You don't have to do it. Someone actually said this on the Instagram comments that made me laugh. Yeah. They were like, is there not a way for us to check up on like how people have implemented the advice or what has ended up happening? Because I like jUsT. And the way they said it's like, me, I like jUsT. I said, I like you. I like you because I like jUsT too. But sis, if you do watch this and you want to send an email maybe, or anyone who has ever sent a dilemma to us and we've answered it on the podcast and you recognize that it's you, send us an email, like with just respond with an update. Let us know.
We'd love to know and give 100%. A little, you know, how things are going.
Yeah, give the sisterhood an update. Yeah, literally. It's
like Love is Blind.
Cast your mind back to, oh jeez, that show.
We could do a whole episode on Love is Blind.
The thing about Love is Blind is there's a lot of archetypes that you can point out, but everybody needs therapy.
110%.
Everyone needs betterhelp.com/2mysisters.
That is hilariously great. That is hilarious.
Everyone does need 10% off their therapy journey.
Oh, they definitely do, because they're going to be in it for a while.
A hot minute. Especially that Danielle. Oh, she might need to email us for multiple coupons. That girl.
Shake.
Oh, Shake.
I just don't believe in anyone that is called Abhishek.
And you're going by Shake.
Shake.
Yeah.
Shake it.
Yeah.
Rockstar. That's
Rockstar
what it's
lifestyle.
That's what it's given.
Yeah. My guy said, Love is Blind. No, I think Love is Blurry.
Oh, my top 3 for therapy is Shake and Danielle.
Yeah.
And it's gonna have to be Shane for my third.
Oh, fair.
It's gonna have to be
fair. Shane was a bit annoying.
Oh, he made me laugh. Heaven forgive me.
He didn't make me. I don't know what people saw in that man.
Personally. You know what really we going off course here. But what really like got me about Shane, especially Shane and Natalie, is just how mismatched they were in terms 100%. Of their communication and love styles.
Natalie must have, at the end of every day, not to invalidate your love, sis, if you ever listen to this, but at the end of every day, she must have looked in the mirror, tried to convince herself to love this man.
Honestly.
Because how are we not seeing something y'all are seeing? Because you two, him and Shayna, I get that. I can see that. They don't even have to show me footage of that. I get that. But Natalie,
he's like, I just feel like we have an emotional connection.
It's when Natalie was saying she felt connected to him. That's the bit I didn't understand, because Natalie seems lovely.
Connected,
but
right
that's
now
the bit,
to you.
and that's the bit I didn't get it.
I just feel like I love you.
I didn't get it.
What hurt
she
me
was
was
so
just
pretty,
like,
though. All
she was. Everyone was gorgeous.
Yeah.
Albeit not blonde and size 6 according to Shake, but that's another
Who's
conversation.
Blonde and size 6?
Shake, he said that he only dates blonde white women that he can fit on his shoulders.
Oh yeah, the fit on your shoulders bit was, oh, you're not talking to your mic at all.
Hi.
Yeah.
Mind you, the man doesn't look like he worked out a day in his life, but anyways. And then you have Jarrett and
Iana.
Yeah. They were cute, but
Ayana.
She was his second choice. And anyways.
Anyway, they did say that they had a conversation about like that. And that was a lot for them to work over.
But you know what? That really did open up a conversation just generally on social media. It's like, do people, when they get to a particular age, if they've missed the boat out on the person they actually really love, do they just settle?
100%. People do it all the time.
We're going to have to come back to that. We should do a whole episode.
Oh, 100%.
That's actually great.
100%. But people do it with everything.
That's true.
They do it with jobs. They do it with food. They do it with literally everything.
But it hurts because it's another person.
Yeah, that's the bit that's sad. But a lot of people settle all the time, every day.
the politics of sex. Anyway, sisters, let us know if you want us to do an actual full episode unpacking Love is Blind, settling when it comes to marriage, speed dating in general in the modern world. It's really evolved into something quite horrific, hasn't it? For our entertainment, this reality TV, social media, marriages.
The impact of reality TV on our view and perception of love is crazy. Absolutely insane.
Yo, we need to do one on 90 Day Fiance as well. I've never
watched that in my life.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
Wait, 90 Day Fiance, is that when they like go abroad to find? Oh yeah. I've seen some clips on YouTube.
Oh girl.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do.
But what do we have to say about that? Everyone's using you for green card. That's actually my conclusion. I don't care. No, get your bag how you get it. Personally,
but you don't believe in love in 90 days. That is,
I think that's silly.
Transatlantic?
No, I don't. Categorically.
So no from me, dog.
Completely.
What else is there? There's Love is Blind. There's the one where you can't.
Too hot to handle.
Anyways, we'll leave just let us know if you want us to do a full episode on this. I think this could be quite juicy and quite fun to dig into.
Netflix, if you want us to be reviewers of your shows, we can bring our opinions. We can.
Do you know what we could do with that?
A lot. Many things.
Anyways, back to the episode. We are talking about hard work versus hardly working.
Yeah, this is interesting because it feels like everyone has a lot to say about this, you know. And
this is, precisely. This is the angle I was going to bring it in. So we've got particularly because of the rise of social media, we have lots of influencers who are skipping the process of engaging with, you know, management and PR before they say things online. No, because this is the case. That's what it seems. That's what I'm chalking it up to.
But people want them to be real.
No.
They want them to be unfiltered.
But that's the issue. They need to be filtered. That's why, you know, back in the day when we're thinking about celebrities, they never spoke unless, you know, they had it filtered through somebody because they had a brand and an image and a business to protect because they are their business. Yeah. And as much as I love social media for the good that it also does a disproportionate amount of harm when we allow certain thoughts platformed without context. So there's been an outpouring of influencers, social media figures in general, who've come on the internet to talk about, you know, the notion of hard work.
Not on Beyonce's internet.
No.
Where is Beyonce?
She's quiet.
You know what? There was a podcast I heard. I listened to Here's the Thing, hosted by that chick Angel and Kev on Stage. And that chick Angel said something very, very wise. She said, once I make a certain level of impact, or income, you can't even pay me to talk about certain things.
100.
What's your thoughts on the world crisis wow, look, the sky is blue? Did you know that?
But you know, I think what's wise about that though is there's actually an exchange going on there for, you know, it's an exchange you've declined, albeit, but it's an exchange of somebody's actually asked you for your 2 pence. Unfortunately, what we're dealing with here.
No, but they were asked. I have to defend them on that. They were asked. I feel like, why are people asking you these questions?
Yeah,
that's my challenge.
That's true,
because
we need to challenge I hear that we have to challenge the platforms too, because
it's the platform. Because I feel like sometimes some people are baited. If you don't know what we're talking about,
to take 2 steps back. So recently we've had an outpouring of celebrities, influencers, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Most notably, we've had, you know, Miss Molly May.
Yeah. Here in the UK.
Yep. Here in the UK, come on our good sir Steve Bartlett's podcast to talk about, you know, her life and Diary of a CEO, to talk about her rise and her career and all that kind of good stuff, jazz. We've also recently had Miss Kim Kardashian come up and talk about, you know, the rise, fame, etc. And in both cases, funnily enough, their prevailing message, or the message that was, you know, platformed the most on social media, was this notion of working hard to get to where you want to be.
Emphasis on the working hard.
Emphasis, you've got to put your everything you've got into
Kim
it.
Kardashian specifically said on was it Vanity Fair?
Something like that.
She was just saying, you know, specific. It seems like people don't want to work these days.
And here's the thing. I get it, but I also don't.
this is the thing, and this is sometimes why like social media, let's go back to the original point we were saying.
Yeah.
Why are people asking you these questions?
Yeah.
Like, why? I get it. They have social influence, they have social power, they have social impact, whatever it might be you perceive them to have. They have style, they have influence. They are not political commentators.
No.
They are not politicians.
No.
They're not social activists.
No.
They don't even do social commentary.
No.
So why are you asking them for their opinion on social issues? Especially as your first point of, or not even first point of call, but you have a massive platform. Surely you would want to expose people to not expert information, but informed information. Unfortunately, with celebrity culture, people want to know celebrities' opinions, even if those opinions are not informed. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's really dangerous because it's sometimes even like people are, I'm not saying this is what happened in these two instances with Kim Kardashian or Molly May.
Yeah.
But it feels like sometimes platforms don't care about how it makes the person who said it look. And they also don't care about the backlash that person is going to receive because it brings them press regardless, right? And I think, everyone should take personal responsibility for the things that they say. But I also think it is very telling that we're living in a world where virality really is gold, and these things often go viral. And instead of kind of protecting somebody's character and the way that they are perceived, even though there's only so much you can do to protect people's perception on the internet, I think it's very telling when these things go viral, especially if they're considered harmful, quote unquote, harmful, and nobody really is doing the work to undo it, undo the harm, if that makes sense. But then there's also the question, is this even harmful?
It's such a tricky one because there's just so many layers to it to unpack, right?
Let's start with layer one.
I think this is more of a tangential / adjacent layer, but it's important to state that both of these are notable women. Yeah. And this is obviously TMS and stuff like that. We both hold women accountable, but then we, call a spade when we see it. Call a spade a spade. And there is something to be said about the fact that, when notable women say things that are controversial, they definitely get less grace than their male counterparts. 1,000%. Because the message I've heard from Molly May and from Kim Kardashian, I've also heard from multiple, influential male figures who may have had a similar trajectory insofar as they've capitalized on a viral moment and come and said, something brash and masculine, work hard, do the work, rah. Yeah. But there is something to be said about, this really volatile backlash, particularly women get when it comes to talking about careers, entrepreneurship, just being in that money, right? And the whole degradation. This is the problem with the internet. People lack class and they lack respect when it comes to disagreeing with people or, arguing with people. When I heard those comments and I listened to it and I listened to the full things for context, I heard the context, but I still was like, respectfully, sis, I think you made several points here that were problematic. I don't agree with it. Yeah. But to now come on Beyonce's internet to be saying, you're an effing whore.
Yeah, you're this, you're that. Firstly, if someone hits you with a defamation suit now, you're not even going to have a leg to stand on. Secondly, I will repeat it again. It's because people don't fight enough. People aren't flogging people enough in the streets. Not, like I said, I'm not, I'm not pro-violence. However, I think a good beating sometimes. Just as an example, I think because World Star isn't as popular as it used to be, people are brave.
There is a way to disagree, or there is a way to debate with class.
Without dragging someone out of their name, and also proving that you have no shame, because unfortunately, because of how accessible certain people of certain status have become on social media, you think you can talk to anybody like they're your mate. Yeah. And I get it. It's popular. It's beautiful. Like, not as popular, it's beautiful, but society is cheering on. Yeah, go you stand up to the system. You don't know, and I'm gonna say this all the time, you actually don't know who you'll need in the future, and some people are going to get hit with a fat reality check.
Very serious.
When them that venomous tongue that you were talking with is what catches you out in the future, especially because, like I said, you don't know who you will need, and you also don't know where you will be 100%. In the future.
100%. So yeah, I just wanted to tackle that adjacent point first before we dig into the meat and the bones of this is something that, this is a topic that we disagree with, but there's a way to do it that is actually classy, a way to do it that is respectful of the fact that this is another human being.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it that's actually, nice.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Principled. We are principled ladies
Social
here.
media actually lacks that. A
100%.
lot of time it lacks being respectful, just being nice, realizing that the person on the other end of this tweet or on this Instagram post or whatever is a human being. And the same TL that'll be talking about people's mental health and suicide prevention and check in on your friends. Do you not think that these are people who have mental challenges as well and actually need to protect their own mental health? Now, this is not to say don't hold people accountable. What this is to say is some of your comments aren't even accountability. That's the bit that jars me.
Some of them are rude.
And some of them are just rude for the sake of being rude. And if you want to know, hear more into this, because I think it was an excellent video, our good sis Adela Afadi has actually made a video about cancel culture. She's made several videos about like these kinds of situations because I think more than holding people accountable, I think people are talking just for the sake of getting applause rather than actually. Because people are like, oh, she'll never see my tweets anyway. So then why are you tweeting? Because obviously you're not trying to get to the core of the problem. You just want to be heard.
There we go. You just want to be heard.
You want the retweets.
And
you
like in terms of when you are critiquing, let's get into the critique now because, I just to get all of that out of the way, do it respectfully. We about to respectfully disagree with a lot of the points that are made.
But a disagreement is not the same as a drag.
Oh, 100%.
Exactly.
100%.
Just so you know.
100%. Now, in terms of the actual issue around the premise of working hard, I think that, first of all, working hard has been used to gloss over the fact that there are very real institutional failings that many people face on a daily basis.
I agree.
Part of which the influencers in questions are
perpetrators of.
But not even they are queens of, right? Queens of exploitation. When we think about capitalism, when we think of the people who are at the bottom of the food chain, so quote unquote, when we think about the people that they employ, it's not just about working hard to get to where you need to go. Yeah. When I even think about, and this is the thing that jars me most about folks that will come online and talk about their success story and be like, I worked hard, We know you worked hard, but we also know that there was luck involved. We also know that there was opportunity involved. We also know that there were certain things that you had access to that other people did not have access to. Yeah. So no one is trying to, I think it's the whole people feel like they are being attacked. Yeah. Right? By lots of other people online that are trying to invalidate their success. Yeah. So they fight it. The way that they, argue with it is to say, I'm working hard. However, no one is denying that, you work hard for what you do. What we are trying to highlight is the fact that there are some very catastrophic institutional failings and structural barriers that are preventing people from reaching the same height of success that you have.
100%.
And it's unfair.
And it proves, and it seems like you are unaware of it. And that's the bit that's jarring. You're unaware of the privilege that goes into your success. And it doesn't mean that because... The thing is, on the flip side of this, and because everything you said is accurate and it's right and it's sentiments that I completely echo and agree with. On the flip side, though, what they are saying is not necessarily wrong in the sense that a lot of people have climbed up the social ladder through hard work. Yeah. However, when they are aware of the privileges that they have had, that have paired with that hard work, it makes it easier to accept. I'm thinking of someone like Grace Beverly, who is like, I work hard, but I also have a privileged background. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? And the two are like, you can say one, but you also have to say the other. And I think, unfortunately, because a lot of people want to seem, dare I say, greater than they actually are, they want to ignore their privilege and just say it was hard work. 100. And it's like, actually, we would just appreciate if you were honest about the full picture. And if you just use yourself as a case study so that people in similar situations to you can be inspired, but also people who are not in similar situations to you can be aware of the fact that they are not in a similar situation to you. I think it's a problem when influencers or celebrities or anyone in power starts to become a part of the illusion. This illusion of meritocracy. That just if the only element that goes into this formula of success is hard work. It's not. It is really, really not. And there's not enough transparency when it comes to the actual things that go into the success, especially of these kinds of people. Like you said, capitalistic values. Okay, someone's getting exploited.
Somebody is getting exploited, and sometimes you are the active perpetrator, and you see it, and you have blinders. You put blinders on. It's not even like you're unaware. You are aware of it, and you are perpetrating it. So for me, like, it gets really difficult because it's like, how can you come and talk about working hard when you are actively exploiting those who probably work harder than you? And even this whole idea of hard work. And I think what was the most insulting, right? For me, the most insulting was actually Kim K's.
It's Kim. To me, I'm more outraged by Kim K.
I was scandalized.
To be very honest.
Particularly this point around, no one wants to work hard anymore.
It seems like people don't want to work these days. The people making the Skims outfit, respectfully, because if you want to send me some NPR, I'm gonna take it.
I'm screaming.
Respectfully, the people making the Skims wear, are they paid fairly?
Precisely. Because then we need to have a conversation about remuneration. The reason why it seems like a lot of people are dissatisfied with working hard is because they are not compensated enough.
They're not working hard, they're being exploited. Slavery is not the same as hard work.
Go back and listen to our episode on, energy costs and all the things that are going on in the world right now. Who wants to work hard knowing that your hard work is not being compensated fairly? That's also another issue. There are people that are working their butts off. There are people who are going through very serious economic hardship that are working day and night, that are up. Listen, I grew up with my parents. I didn't come from, a quote unquote rich background or a privileged background. I grew up seeing my mum and my dad work hard from dawn till dusk, work hard, but were never compensated enough to take care of a family properly as they would have liked to. So this whole people don't want to work hard anymore, you just need to work harder. It's just not enough to get to the finish line. It's just not enough. It's insulting, in fact.
And the bit that then pisses me off even more, because similarly, grew up watching my parents, even till this day, parents are working hours that are just unfathomable. And as much as you have that desire, I'm going to retire my parents, then you're confronted with an energy crisis and fuel prices that are rising and house prices that are inflating and all of these things which are stopping you from being able to live the life which you desperately want to live, right? However, the thing about Kim Kardashian's situation that jarred me even more was, man, we saw how you got famous. Why you... This is the bit that's the bit that's annoying me. Throw it back a couple of years, right? I was actually like, Kim Kardashian is a bomb businesswoman. You want to know why? Because she owns her ish. She owns things. She owns the fact that I do pretty for a living. Like, if you want to see the origin of influencer culture, it's the Kardashians. Do you get what I mean? It's reality TV. It's my lifestyle can be entertainment. And she owned that. And Kris Jenner, the mastermind that is Kris Jenner, aka Professor Jenner of the business administration facility, she is boss levels, right? However, I think it's really dangerous when you start to paint this idea that your hard work is the same as other people's hard work, because it really isn't.
Baby,
your hard work is... And I'm not trying to discredit what anybody has done. Your hard work is quote unquote smart work. What you've done is you've taken a great and ripe opportunity, whether it be controversy, whether it be luck, whether it be exposure, whatever it is, you took that and you capitalized off it in the smartest way. Well done. The issue is when you go and you start sparking these narrative of you just need to work harder, what you're ignoring is the fact that everyone doesn't have that window. Most people don't have that window. You had a window, and that window was made at the intersection of very, very rare things that rarely happen for people. Do you get what I mean? It's everything. You had sex, you had the horniness culture, you had people yearning, people who were bored, you had all these different things work in your favor to get to where it is that you got to, right? And yes, you worked hard and worked smart, leveraging. Most people don't have leverage, right?
Yeah.
And so the more you start to spew, I've worked hard. No, you capitalized off of an opportunity really well. People don't have opportunities. Do you get what I mean? And that's the problem. Like, it's all about opportunity. People keep assuming, and that's the sorry, I'm getting frustrated.
No, girl,
that's the issue and the illusion with meritocracy. People say, just equip yourself. You can equip yourself till the cows come home. If you don't have opportunity, you're done for.
Mate.
Do you get what I mean? And most people don't get opportunity. So many social barriers stand in people's way that stop them from getting opportunity. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not just mindset. And that's the other thing that pisses me
baby.
off. So many of y'all got mics and you say all these things and you sit in your nice houses like we do and you talk about mindset stuff, but most people are not coming up against mindset stuff. Our parents had some of the best mindsets, best understanding of education, best understanding of you. Even if they didn't have an education, they knew that you kids are going to school.
Yep.
How about that?
Yep. Because they know it's capital.
Exactly. They had an understanding of what is capital in this country, what is capital in this world. Do you get what I mean? Their mindsets weren't the problem. Some of y'all who grew up in rich homes and places where, you know, my parents work hard, you're feral, you're wild, and you're absolutely corrupt.
Not feral. We call you charlatans where I come from.
Do you get heathens? Moralless. Do you get what I mean? Like, all of these things. However, our parents having the morals, the mindsets, the spirituality, the family values, the traditions, that didn't get them paid. That didn't put lights on. That didn't put food on the table. Do you get what I mean? So everyone's here saying it's a mindset issue. Let me come and correct your mindset. Most of the people you're trying to talk to, their mindset is better than you, which is why they're working 16 hours a day in factories for £4.50 an hour, just trying to make ends meet. It's not a mindset issue. It's an opportunity issue. And the reason why it's scandalous that you have the effrontery to say these things is you're a part of the problem and you're a part of the reason why they don't have the opportunities. So for you to come and basically preach to the choir about mindset when it's not a mindset issue is what is scandalous. This isn't a mindset issue. This is about the fact that you, woman with the mic, are robbing us.
There we
Do you get
go.
what I mean?
That's the issue.
You are the issue.
Do
you know what I mean? And it's not to say rich people are the problem, because God knows most of us are trying to be rich. Do you get what I mean? It's what fueled your riches.
Yes.
What got you to where you are right now.
Please.
And most people are not critical enough or honest enough, shall I say, about what is the source of their riches. Because if the source of your riches is people's insecurities, the source of your riches is an unfair labor market, the source of your riches is exploitation, the source of your riches is theft, the source, and that's not to say, you know, allegedly, please don't come and hit me with lawsuits. I don't know what I'm talking about. English, who is she? I don't know her.
What?
Microphones to my sisters. Who's
Who?
there?
Je ne comprends pas. No hablos inglés. Have you seen that meme?
Minty brothel. I don't know.
Of who is it? Lil Baby. No hablos inglés.
I'm gonna act dumb real quick. I don't know. Who is she? Kwani Daniela. My name is Akusiafra. I don't know her. I live in Kumasi. I don't know
who that is.
But I think it's important. Let me calm down. I think it's important that for us to, just like you said, call a spade a spade. This is not a mindset problem.
It's not.
And most people keep talking about it like it's a mindset problem. This generation doesn't have a mindset problem. We're exposed to so much content, so many books, so many stories, many adults who are telling us how to shape our minds daily. Right? The issue isn't mindset. The issue is economical, it's structural, and it comes down to opportunity. And also, just because you are presented with an opportunity doesn't always mean that you're actually in the position to take the opportunity, especially when so many things are stacked up against you. And unless people have fair conversations, especially someone like Kim Kardashian, who has done work in the legal field, you understand about systemic issues. So you're acting like these things, and I get people say, oh no, but you have to understand the context and who I was talking about.
No.
The thing is, your platform doesn't allow you to speak to specific people. You are a public figure now. What you say influences, sometimes poorly or sadly, it influences some of the biggest things in the world, right? Whole groups of people, people who don't even follow you. Because I don't even follow Kim Kardashian. And yet I'm presented with these issues daily. What do you think about what she said? She's going viral again. And let's even decenter Kim Kardashian from this conversation. A lot of celebrities, the things you say can impact governments. It can impact the trajectory of a whole generation. Do you get what I mean? You can release one song and drive a whole generation of people mad. Look at the way people are fainting at Michael Jackson. Do you get what I mean? So I think it comes down to the fact that you don't have the privilege of saying you're only speaking to specific certain people. And that's why sometimes we are careful with the way that we say things, and we have to caveat things. And it doesn't mean we're getting things right, but we do it because we don't know who is listening, and we don't know the level of understanding that the people listening have. And you have to be mindful of that, because that's when what you're saying becomes harmful, not because it's untrue, but because you don't know how the people hearing it are going to use it and how it's going to influence the way that they perceive themselves. That's why you need to be informed when you talk. This
is why we need to bring back PR.
Exactly. This is exactly why we need to and I don't think enough people think about branding, PR, narratives, the things that they say enough.
No, they don't.
Please, you need people who are informed on certain issues to help you navigate very difficult terrain. Because I don't know who let that clip of Kim Kardashian go out after Molly May's situation just happened a few weeks ago.
And this is the problem.
Fire your team.
I think even that, right? When you live a life in an ivy tower, it becomes very, very difficult to be informed with what's going down in the farmyards and in the vineyards, right? So that I'm not surprised. Am I upset? No. I am mildly shocked that it was.
I love how it keeps coming down. Surprised.
Do you know what I mean?
Upset?
Because
mildly shocked.
I don't want to say that this penetrated my consciousness and psyche like this at all, because it didn't. It was just you're saying something that's unfortunately quite misinformed and dumb again. Because there's been multiple times. It's not like they have a track record of, very amazing things that they've said. It was more of you guys need to think about your team, because if I was like your representative or working within your team, I would literally solidly be like, yo, everything that is created for social media has got to run by at least 10 people.
Yeah.
And if it's not run by 10 people, or if it's run by 10 people and it's still crap when it comes out, you got to fire all of them.
That's why you need image consultants, image managers, someone.
Image consultants are not Kevin Samuels.
Please don't.
Could you imagine that
bombshell? It is too late to bring up certain names. It is too late to bring up certain parts of conversation. Please, I beg you in the name of Jesus Christ, the lamb that was slain, the Lion of Judah. Do not talk to me about that right now.
Could you imagine your PR and image consultant being Kevin Samuels?
That is actually something I've thought about doing one day. Being an image consultant.
Yeah, I hear it.
Not an image consultant, sorry. Someone has ruined that name.
That
title for me.
Because it just makes me think of denim trousers
or like life coach. Ugh. But just someone who just helps you manage that part. Because I think so many brand consultant, I would really love to do brand consulting, because so many people are so talented, but you need to stick where you're strong.
You need to stick where you're strong. And then if you do want to branch out, you need to read. You need to read. No. You need to read. And we are saying this from very privileged positions, because again, we have been part of institutions that have hammered into us this kind of training, this type of articulation, having to defend and debate on a daily basis for, the best part of 3 or 4 years of our lives. Okay. So we're even in that, we are, very, very privileged. Having said that, if you want to have an opinion on a topic, you must be well versed. You must be. I don't care what it is. Listen, it can be the most articulate, a topic. It can be the most baseline, like really ridiculous topic. You need to be informed.
Yes.
And I feel like, especially with our generation right now on social media, because of platform, people think that platform validates their opinions, but it's not. It's being well versed. I don't care how many followers you have. Go and read.
Go and
Go
study
and watch
something.
Go and study.
Go and
We've
study
lost
something.
the art of studying.
And this is the problem. So many of you think, oh, but I don't like reading books. That's fine. You just need to learn from people's life experience. That's the bit that catches people out. Because if you knew a bigger range of people, you wouldn't say the crap that you say. Do you get what I mean? The issue is, like you said, you live in this high tower and you probably live in an echo chamber and you don't know enough people to realize the thing that you are saying is actually not relevant to the majority of people that you're even trying to talk to. So even if you don't like reading books and maybe you struggle with academic literature or you struggle with social political commentary or whatever it may be, maybe you can't bring yourself to do all that. Learn from people's lives. From people's lives. Because even like the first thing we went to wasn't an academic study. It wasn't a book that we've read. It was our parents' experiences.
Precisely.
If you don't take time to actually learn from the lives of other people, you're going to get caught out. Because most people's lives have not been like yours. Everybody is on a different path and everyone's path has crumbs down it that give you a trail of wisdom. And some of you are here talking without wisdom, without empathy, without compassion, being absolutely uninformed, but you're loud.
You're loud. And you lack class.
We don't want that here, okay?
We don't, not even a little bit.
We forgive you, because that's one thing we don't do. We don't cancel people right here. You can change. You can change. But we want to see change.
You need to put the dunce hat on first and go into a corner and rehabilitate before you come back, because baby, ain't no having no uninformed people around here.
You need to acknowledge that you got it wrong.
Put the big dunce hat on. But anyways, I think that really does open up conversations around like social mobility. And I know that's something that we've cared about for a really long time in our own like specific journeys. But
also, a sister requested it in the emails.
Oh, okay, now the sisters. You see, she's informed. She informed. But yeah, I kind of wanted to talk briefly about social mobility, whether it is important as well as something to be aspired to.
Yes, right. So you might think this is controversial. However, as people who grew up in working class backgrounds, right?
We might have been in the underclass.
That's underclass.
I think we just about made it.
We pipped into the working people.
We just crept into the working class.
No, I think we were. Basically, we didn't grow up with a lot of monies or things, okay? Especially in the early parts of our lives. However, I think as people who grew up with a level of, lack of resources, let's say. Because I don't even want to say poor, because I think like those things are relative. Like just generally working class. Let's just stick with that. Underclass adjacent. Underclass adjacent. It would be wrong of us to say that we have not climbed up the social ladder a little bit. Because of the access and the opportunities which we have had.
Precisely.
How those opportunities and access came about, yes, there was some hard work into it, but also it was just favor from God. And the reason why I say that is, like you said about luck, whilst I don't believe in luck, I do believe in favor. And the thing about favor is not fair. And I've accepted that. Favor is not fair, right? And so one thing I've had to tell myself is, there's a lot of, I guess, quote unquote, privilege that we have had by the things that we have come into in terms of opportunities, the people that we have been able to meet, the fact that we had certain gifts from young, being able to be academic. That's a leg out of a lot of situations for a lot of people, right? And then going to the unis we went to, I think is what really nail in the coffin.
Really,
send them up. They're going up a level. They're going up a level.
We're going up to the top, baby.
I think to say something like it's unimportant to aspire to social mobility would be wrong coming out of my mouth, I would say. It would be wrong coming out of my mouth because I know where I started from. I know the lives my parents lived. I know what they worked hard to get out of and also had to put themselves through a lot of stuff to get out of. And I know the life that they wanted for me. And it wasn't the life that they had. And it wasn't the life that the statistics would say we would be able to live, if that makes sense. So I think it would be unfair and unrealistic for me to say social mobility isn't important to me. I say all that to say that. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it something that you have to aspire to? Absolutely not. But it comes down to, what do you want out of life?
Precisely.
Right? And what do you believe is possible for yourself? And what do you desire? For some people, they are happy with where they are. No one should be able to take that away from you. For some people, material things like finances, money, income, it really doesn't matter to them. It doesn't give them a sense of fulfillment whatsoever. If that's the case for you, social mobility doesn't matter. If you're going around with that idea and the mindset, because it comes down to ideologies, right? It comes down to beliefs, because some people don't even believe in social mobility. Some people don't believe in social class tier systems. People don't believe in the hierarchies whatsoever. I don't know about y'all, but okay. You know, if these things are unimportant to you, why should you aspire to social mobility? Do you get what I mean? It's not like these things are objective per se. However, if this is the way that you view life, I think it's important for you to decide what's important to you, right? What actually matters to you.
This is true.
If money matters to you, if your standard of living actually matters to you, especially when it comes to the material aspects of things, I don't think it's bad to aspire for social mobility whatsoever. And I think there are stories of people who have been able to. I look to like my parents and stuff. My parents are in their 60s and are only living the life that they actually want now. And that has been hard to see, but I've seen how they've just grinded for it just because that's what they wanted and they've worked for it, right? However, if it's not what you want, you don't have to work for it just because social society is pressuring you to do it. And I think living in a generation which stunts a lot, it will make you think like you have to pursue it. You have to pursue that tax bracket. You have to pursue that income level. You really don't. You can live the life that you want. The last thing you need is to be pressured by anybody to think that your life isn't worth anything because you have not transcended your social class. A lot of people are not going to be honest about the fact that they transcended their social class because they married well. Or because, they came into a good amount of money through an inheritance. There are different ways to transcend your social class outside of hard work. However, it comes down to, what do you want, baby?
Precisely.
That's why I'm trying to be a sugar baby. Please don't take me seriously when I say that, by the way, because I know some people were pressed when I said that last time.
Is it?
Yeah, I got some DMs.
Is it? They should mind their business. Maybe they should, because they need to make more money. Anyways,
step your money up.
Step your money up. Get your gas pedal on. Work harder. I think what's also important is to understand the various overlapping tiered systems that exist in society as well. Come on. Right? Because
talk about intersectional talk.
Let me cross my leg over. But no, thinking about the different systems of hierarchies and perhaps I'm a little bit pessimistic when I say that where there is difference in humanity, there will always be hierarchy.
100%.
That's purely the way that a lot of people and a lot of societies and communities have processed difference. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but it's what we've seen over time and time again over, billions of years and all that kind of stuff. So where there is difference, there will be hierarchy, but there will be overlapping hierarchies. So even when I think about class, right? Sometimes we think that money is the only resource that is needed to enter into a particular class, when really there's so many different forms of capital. If you haven't checked it out already, Bordeaux's thoughts and theories on capital, the different types of capital. There's social capital, cultural capital. And the thing is, these kinds of capital. Precisely, capital, financial capital. These different types of capital have different values ascribed to them depending on the hierarchies you exist in. So you might have like dominant culture, which is like Western culture, where a particular cultural capital will get you to places and get you opportunities and all that kind of stuff. But there are subcultures where that doesn't really, baby, that's not working.
We don't care about that here.
We don't care about that here. There are some cultures, when we think about like what's a classic example? Code switching, right? When we think about code switching, there are certain forms of articulation and certain languages whereby when you speak them in a dominant, like white supremacy culture, it really prevents you from accessing a lot of opportunities that are open for people. However, in particular subcultures, or sometimes within the dominant culture itself, there are actually silos whereby your difference and your cultural capital will be valued differently. So when I think of like when we were applying to like, top institutions, we had the cultural capital of the fact that we have very different experiences, and we actually capitalized on that knowledge as a form of strength as opposed to a weakness. So I say all of this to say, stop thinking so rigidly about, social class and social hierarchies. These really are fluid things that interact with each other. So really think about the assets that you currently have. It's not even necessarily about aspiring towards more, but more about where can I find more opportunities where this capital I have has value. Where can I leverage what I currently have? Because now we've moved the conversation away from, hard work and all that kind of stuff. It's about opportunity. Yeah. So
and making use of that opportunity.
Precisely. So therefore, it becomes a question of positionality. Yes. Where can you position yourself well to leverage the capital you already have? So it's not just about like moving, but it's actually, what do I have that will allow me to move? Yeah. Because many of us we're sitting on gifts that we have. Your difference, your story. Yes, we've heard that, you might have been from the projects, but
that's a story.
That's a story.
There is so much power in that story.
You might have, I don't know where you could have grown up in the forest. There are some kids out there that have grown up with animals. Yeah. Listen, have you seen the feral kids? Anyways.
Exactly. That's Let's go and pick up a sociology textbook, child. That first page is feral. Talk about feral children.
You have a story, and don't let the fact that you've been exposed to a very specific social hierarchy or culture determine the value of the capital you have. Everybody has capital. Yes. Everybody has a form of capital. It's about positionality 100%. Now. How can you position yourself well to leverage what you have? Think about your disadvantages, but then also think, where would this be an advantage in? Where can I leverage this? Where can I use this to my gain? It's about gaining now. Let's start gaining. It's not just mindset. I'm so glad you touched on mindset.
It's the worst of it. That for me is what's most problematic about those conversations. You're really preaching to the choir. Like, it's not a mindset issue. Stop trying to seminar us into systemic change.
You're telling people that work 16-hour shifts that they need a mindset. Hard.
It's not a mindset shift. They don't need to read a book. They don't need to work.
You're probably employing people to work 16-hour shifts. You charlatan.
It's not that. It's systemic. And that's why I feel like, and I love that you brought up Bordeaux's conceptions of capital, because when it comes down to it, even if you don't have like the capital that we mentioned, this is why community matters. Because as long as you're not doing life alone, you have people capital, you have human capital, you have social capital, you have people around you who, whilst you may not understand the culture of the day that will get you, I remember they always used to bring up that like example of going to the opera versus like watching TV, all of that nonsense. Yeah. When it comes down to it, as long as you have people, change can happen. 100%. I can guarantee you 100%. Change can happen. Even if it's you, if you feel voiceless, find someone who has a voice. 100%. Someone who's bold enough to talk. If you feel like you have no money, get a pool of friends around you. And our aunties and uncles and grandmothers used to do this all the time. We don't have power here, but in our collective, we have some kind of power. If you have 1p can't do something for you. But if we all have 1p, 10p can do something for us.
You can buy a Freddo.
We can do something to start something, to do something. Do you get what I mean? And I think having that mindset of collectivity, because I think these conversations of social mobility, what also underpins it and is really below the surface is living in a Western capitalistic community or world society where individualism is killing the people, because it's very much about individual effort. I worked hard.
And that's how they get you.
Exactly. If you worked hard, things would be different from you. But when you have a community and collective mindset, your mindset is, I've worked hard so that we can win. Do you know what I mean? However, living in this mindset and this ideology in this part of the world, in the West, it really is about, I've done this for me. I'm serving as inspiration. It comes back down to the mindset thing. I'm serving as inspiration so that you can shift your mindset and do what I have done.
Liars.
Community and collective mindset minded people. Sorry, it's late. That's why my words are not coming. You guys know I struggle to talk on a daily anyway. But community and collective minded people, they don't think like that.
There we go.
The way that they think is, you do your part, I'll do my part. Let's bring our parts together. Let's play to both of our strengths. You've got this, I've got this. You've got the pot, I've got the oil. Someone's got the plantain. Let's fry it, let's sell it. Let's make this work.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? That's how it's not about who's winning. It's about, can we all win? And I think as a sisterhood, we really need to start. And that's why it's so unfortunate that these conversations can happen sometimes amongst women, because it's like, as a sisterhood, as a brotherhood, in whatever community you're in and around the collective, the values that you have joined yourselves around, whatever that community has formed around, that bond is there. And communities can really change things for people. And so it becomes unfortunate when people are talking about making it out on your own. That's the bit that makes me sad. As a sisterhood, we can't have that mindset of you need to make it out on your own. I am my sister's keeper. My mindset has to be, I can't exploit you for my own gain and think that I have achieved some kind of success. Because whilst that's the mainstream, that's the culture's definition of success. I made it out of the hood. I'm the one who lives in the nice place. I'm the one with the good job. But if all my sisters are suffering, I didn't win. I compromised.
You gatekeep. Do you know what I hate? Gatekeepers. You will do all this work to come and be the first of the first of the first, and you're the last because you closed the gate on your way.
Oh my God.
You close, like, I just don't understand why you want to. It's so sad to watch people become the very thing that they actively try to dismantle, all in the name of individuality, all in the name of self-preservation, all in the name of, I want to be at the top of the hierarchy. This is the problem. There's too many egos at the top.
And this is why having conversations about sisterhood actually really matter, because that's what you're forfeiting. We're not saying that this is easy, because this goes completely against the grain of what capitalist societies teach you.
Yeah.
Capitalist societies teach you every man for themselves. If you make it out, you watch your back.
100%.
Do you get what I mean?
100%.
It's this mindset that you have to do this alone. Do you get what I mean? When you join a sisterhood, because we're not saying that, like I said, we're not saying that this is easy, and we're also not trying to virtue signal.
Yeah.
Because what we're saying is, when you join a sisterhood, or when you have a sisterhood mentality, and this is why what we're doing, let me just say, as much as it's not new, it's still revolutionary.
The sisterhood revolution.
Do you get what I mean? Whilst it's not new, our grandmothers, especially if you like, they are doing. If you come from small communities,
they're doing the most.
They've been doing this for time.
Listen, what happened to the days back in, like, my mum's day, when somebody was getting married? They would bring the entire community to come and cook. But now, because there's such a watered down version of community, there's no real sense of, like, love.
But can you have true community in capitalist societies?
It's teeth are tight, because everybody's trying to win against somebody else. That's the thing. Capitalism pits you against other people. It is all about competition. It has to. By default, you have to be winning above 100%. Somebody else.
It is all about competition. It's all about structures, all about hierarchies. It's all about power and how you can gain more power. Power is the capital. And so when it comes down to it, having a community minded set, saying you belong to a sisterhood. If you are joining the sisterhood, it's not just about glowing and growing. It's realizing that your glowing and growing is so that you can help the collective.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? That's why we're pushing you, because you can pay it forward, you can pay it back, and you can pay it across, okay? You can help someone with an opportunity. You can share your resources. If we do some of the radical things we want to do in the future, and we say, sisters, listen, there's plans that we have for TMS. Let me give you an example. This is why I need y'all to step your money up. And that's why we're trying to train each other to get into this idea of charitable giving and collective. If we come together and we say, one of the sisters in the sisterhood is literally a genius, but she doesn't have enough money to go to university. Sisters, we need to bring the money.
Yeah.
We need to put the money down, because we have the opportunity we have the chance to give someone an opportunity. As sisters, it's now in our hands to be able to do that, right? And you can call that idealistic. You can call that it's not realistic. I think it's unrealistic because of the hearts of people. I don't think it's unrealistic because of the lack of resource. Yep. I really don't.
Yep.
And that's why I'm saying it comes down to an ideological shift. If you want to talk about mindset shifts, the mindset shift we need is not from lazy to hardworking. It's from individualistic to collective thinking. You need to start being community minded. You need to start thinking about your sisters as well as yourself. That's how a sisterhood moves. That's actually how power is gained in the numbers. And whilst people think every revolution that we have seen is because people have united on a set of common principles and a set of common values. When it comes to this sisterhood, we know a sisterhood a global sisterhood at that can have power if we have decided, as much as we have ideological, religious, political differences, we understand and we believe in these principles. I am my sister's keeper. Regardless of who she is, regardless of what she's done, regardless of where she's been, regardless of what she knows or doesn't know, I am my sister's keeper. There is something I have to do. And that can be in the form of resource and giving money, or it can be in the form of correction. It can be on the form of mentorship. It can be in any kind of form, but I have to help my sister out.
Because Lord knows that you could be the sister that needs help. In fact,
you're here talking about work hard. You might be one recession away from losing all your assets.
You might not even need to
would
work
like
that
to see
hard.
you implement that work hard BS
This
to
is
get
the
out
thing.
of a recessive issue.
You don't even need to work that hard. Listen, if you have an issue in your life here, a problem shared,
it's a problem half solved.
Some of you are working hard because you don't have friends.
And you're working double the amount that you should be.
Because you don't have people. Get plugged in.
Please.
As Courtney said, listen, when we sound the alarm and the klaxon goes... No, dead ass. Because we've got some really ambitious things. We're done with even calling this a podcast. It's actually a movement. We've called it the Sisterhood Revolution. We're bringing some really radical things out. This isn't just us speaking to you on a week. Get prepared.
We're training you up for some stuff. Sisters, we are going. We told you we're going to war.
We got work to do. You know, there's crazy people out here.
Biggest we bumped into some today. It's scary outside, guys. Be safe.
Oh, and even in that, I was reminded through. We'll tell the story another time, but this entire weekend has been shambolic, to say the least. But actually having somebody like Courtney there present, we actually thank the Lord, because I would have actually just lost it.
You know what's so funny? Today when we went to do our nails, the lady said something which was so sweet before everything went a bit haywire.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, how long have you two known each other? Because she found out, obviously, just in common conversation, she was like, oh, where do you guys live? And we both told her, we actually live together. We work together. We have a business together. She's like, oh my gosh, how long have you two known each other? And we were like, nearly 10 years. And she was like, oh, where I'm from, we wouldn't call you friends. We'd call you sisters.
Yeah.
So, that was... Shed a tear. I should paint my toes.
Beautiful. Yeah. Oh, then we started shedding tears after, because
then things went a bit left. But it wasn't really, it was her fault, but she was nice.
Yeah.
But when she said that, I was like,
that was beautiful. That was definitely beautiful. On that note, sisters, we have to bid you adieu. But even as we bid you adieu, we really want you to continue to reflect on this idea of collective thinking and collective winning.
Yeah.
This glowing, and you committing to this glowing and growing journey with us, beside us, standing as a community, is one that we really want to be a global movement, okay? If we are going to start questioning and taking down and tearing down structures that are actively against this kind of thinking and actively against a lot of the communities that we care about most, then we need to actually, as we said, when the klaxon sounds, you need to be ready, okay? You need to work on yourself, but more importantly, you need to invest in other people, and you need to invest in the sisters that you have around you, because those are the people that are going to stand with you when the time is necessary. So sisters, we hope you enjoyed that conversation. If you have any thoughts around the whole, Kim K, Molly May fiasco, please feel free to drop it like it's hot in the comments below the YouTube video. As well as come and say hi to us on social media. Hello. Everything is popping up on the Instagram.
It is indeed.
It really is popping. There's a lot of you guys. This is really exciting. But please come and say hi to us on Instagram. You can find us there at To My Sisterhood. And of course, please come and follow our individual journeys collectively. See what I did there?
Collectively.
You know what I'm saying? It's a collective movement. So please follow the lovely Miss at CD Boateng, and come and say hi to me over at Renee Kapuku.
We love to see it. And sis, so that you never miss a beat, sign up to the mailing list, okay? You get resources, you get access to things first, okay? How about that? So sign up to the mailing list at tomysisters.com. That's also where you can send a dilemma if you're ever wondering. And you can follow us on Twitter at ToMySisterhood, and you can start a conversation over on the TL. Okay, go and disturb some other people's peace by using the hashtag ToMySisters. And What is the other thing? Oh, and you can follow us on other social platforms. You just search To My Sisterhood. We're going to pop up.
We're going to pop up. You're going to see. You're going to see these things. One thing about us, you're going to see us.
100%. But honestly, we just wish you all the best when for this upcoming week in whatever it is that you are doing. Okay, don't get bogged down. If you need to log out, whatever it may be. But sisters, we are here for you, and we are growing this sisterhood. So share the sisterhood with a friend, with a sister, with someone who you love deeply. Share it on WhatsApp. Just send the link over to somebody. Okay, we're growing and glowing, but growing. Okay, so and of course, you guys have already been doing it. We love you so much. Please rate the podcast 5 stars. It really does help us in terms of like finding ourselves in front of other people's eyes and getting people exposed to the podcast, but also it just helps us to feel good about what it is we are doing, and we do sometimes need encouragement. So thank you so much for all of you rating us 5 stars, because we are 5 stars on Spotify.
Right, baby.
I know that's right.
I know.
But yeah, rate us 5 stars. Drop a comment here on YouTube as well. We want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. Okay, sisters, have an amazing week. We love you, and keep glowing and growing.